Welcome to Track 2 Nanobiotechnology in Healthcare. And now I would call upon Dr. Lalith Kishore to come to the stage and address the students.
Meanwhile, I'm talking about nanobiotechnology, and I know that there's only about 100 people right now. We are waiting for students to come back inside. Maybe we can concentrate on this group and that, and some on the bleachers upstairs. How many of you know what nanobiotechnology is? Raise your hands. Hand raise for those who know what nanobiotechnology is. Okay, so the good thing is, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. The bad news, not the good news. The bad news is that if I were sitting in the audience, I wouldn't have raised my hand. Um, Sometimes these terms take over in our parlance faster than the subject develops, the knowledge develops, the information spreads. And so nanobiotechnology is one of those things which is kind of being talked about, but we don't know what it exactly is. Too many people say that this is nanobiotechnology, but we don't know if this is nanobiotechnology or not. So, I'm also part of that club, not any different. So, but this is my attempt at letting you know what nanobiotechnology is. So, ma'am, I'm waiting for your green signal. Whenever you say green, I'm going. I think they're coming back slowly.
Yeah. So till they come, I can introduce Dr. Lalith Kishore. Lalith, I want to tell you that Lalith Kishore is also collaborating with RV College of Engineering, and we are working on some biopharmaceutical courses. So in that way, I am more privileged to introduce him to the students now, a distinguished business leader with a strong background in drug discovery sciences, genomic sciences, protein sciences, and cell technologies. With 6 years of BioServe in USA and 18 years at GE Healthcare Life Sciences, Lalith has excelled in leadership roles spanning applications, sales, marketing, and product management. As CEO of Reprocel South Asia, he oversees P&L, BD, and MA responsibilities. His notable projects include the Indian Rice Genome Projects and India's first clinical proteomics project. Lalith is a TEDx speaker known for his exceptional communication skills and leaderships in diagnostics, biotechnology, marketing, and more. Now, it's yours,
Okay.
Dr. Lalith.
Okay. So when I was asked to give a talk on nanobiotechnology and I was asked for a topic, I very deliberately chose every single word that's out there. It's about delivering industrial innovation. And there are people on the stage and off of the stage who have actually delivered innovation, but have delivered industrial innovation. And I think there's a huge difference between both. And um, there are multiple ways to see this and look at this, but I can't say it more. Is that we had, for example, we had Dr. Guru Datta, whose talk was judged as one of the best talks. And during his talks, and then during Dr. Palni's talk, they mentioned this drug that is right now available for 17 crores a dose. Okay? 17 crore rupees a dose. And I know that some of you might have heard me before or have seen me talk on some video or something, and you might have seen me say this repeatedly. We have to understand that we live in a country where one of the most important tools in the hands of a pharmacist when you go to a drugstore, is a scissors. Why? Because when you go to buy a medicine in a pharmaceutical shop, we do not have enough people who will buy even one full strip of paracetamol. It has to be cut, only 2 tablets of paracetamol, 3 tablets of paracetamol at a time. We are talking about developing technologies for that kind of a population here, which now currently cost 17 crore rupees a dose, right? We have monoclonal antibodies which cost probably 50,000, 40,000 rupees a dose, and not everyone who needs it gets it. We have extremely expensive chemotherapy drugs for cancer. Not everyone who needs it gets it. We have antibiotics, very strong antibiotics, which are prescribed, but people can't afford it. And we're talking about bringing technologies like this to those people. If we do not keep this in mind, we won't get anywhere. Uh, with due respect to some of the major pharma companies of this country, biopharma companies of this country, these are export hubs for those products to foreign countries. What we need is, like someone already mentioned, extreme indigenization. Extreme indigenization. Um, uh, Dr. Agarwal's hospitals, which is the organizer of this meeting, does a therapy. And this therapy, they have already executed it to close to 15,000 people across the country. 15,000 is a great contribution. But look at the number of people who need it and the people who have actually got it. Right? Let me take the example of embryonic stem cell therapy. You can take embryonic stem cells, you can manipulate those embryonic stem cells, convert them into cardiomyocytes, and suppose someone is suffering from arrhythmia, you can actually give them their own cardiomyocytes, probably as treatment. Let us say that's the treatment in a very short way. Has anyone paused to look at how many heart attacks happen in Bangalore city alone on a daily basis? How many heart attacks happen in Karnataka on a daily basis, in the country on a daily basis? Even if you had a successful therapy, if you have a successful therapy to actually treat patients, how will you industrialize the process? How will you make sure that your therapy can be executed for 1,000 patients every day with strict compliance? And you're back tomorrow morning to execute it for another 1,000 patients. How many cities, how many centers? How will you execute this? If you were managing that company, Palni, or if you're managing that company, Bhairav, how will you execute this? Do you have industrial innovation in your mind or not? I will take the example of Dr. Palni because he spoke to you before and he is not very good at touting his own horn or blowing his own trumpet, so I will blow it for him. When COVID first came, COVID tests were costing patients about 4,000 rupees each. And COVID tests were being procured by the government at 2,000 rupees each. Government was procuring it, 2,000 rupees per test. By the end of the second wave, thanks to multiple entrepreneurs like Dr. Palni here, government was procuring tests at 10 rupees per test. 10 rupees per test. And patients were getting that test done for 200 rupees per test. I think 10 to 200 is also a little expensive, but let them make their margin. Right? Now, how was that possible? That same Dr. Palni, who was probably able to make 1,000 tests a day, suddenly rose to the occasion and he was able to manufacture more than 500,000 tests in a day. 5 lakh tests in a day he was able to manufacture, and we have multiple companies like that who were able to manufacture. We were able to manufacture 2 million tests per day indigenously for COVID. How were we able to do it? Sheer industrialization. I think that thought of industrialization is just not there in multiple arenas, and that's the reason why we suffer. Can I get to my slide and get to the first? So if you are, go to the next slide, please. So basically, what do we want to do? That's what I can think of. Combine nanotech and biology. We really, really need to combine it right now. It's time to do it right here, right now. Targeted drug delivery, diagnostics, tissue engineering, and precision medicine. Those are the places where nanobiotechnology will come to help. What is nanobiotechnology? Nano, 1 to 100 nanomole in size, not nanomole, nanometers in size, whether it's a molecule, protein, peptide, whatever it is, or even if it's a bot, if it's an electronic bot, right? Bio, so you're obviously bringing biology into it, biotechnology into it, either for, so what can biotechnology be about? It can be about therapy, it can be therapeutics, it can be small molecules, it can be medical devices, it can be diagnostics. That's it. Those are the 4 things that you can do. And that's what we're doing here. But the idea is that how do you bring it? It'll be fantastic. And Dr. Kruba, I do not like your question. I do not want you to talk to people in the student community about projects. Projects are fun. You, during lunch or tea break, you go and meet one of these guys who's making these presentations. Can I do a project with you? Can I do a small, what are those things called? Internship. Can I do a small, of course you can do an internship. Come, you go there, you spend about a month or 2 there, and you get a letter on the company's letterhead that says, yeah, he did an internship. Congratulations, ho gaya. You take this, you get your master's program, done. You come back, can you make something? Can you build something with that? Well, like, in the same vein, they both mentioned that Dr. Palni, Kripa, Bhairav here, I don't know if he has left, daily basis they have about 200 ideas. Can you take one idea and make a company out of it? Now that is what we're talking about when we say delivering this at an industrial scale. And I want you to be able to do that. Can we go to the next slide? So, oh, I have a slide mover. Thank you. Did I move? Yeah. So practical, scalable solutions. Practical is extremely important. There is a researcher right now that I know, and he's extremely intelligent, and he is actually working on electronic pills. Pills that you can swallow, and these pills have electronic circuits in them, and they can actually record, and they have biosensors in them. They can record what is happening in your stomach and send signals back outside. It's fantastic technology. Each circuit in that pill is being built with edible materials, so that they will work for a while, they'll give signals for a while, they'll give results for a while, and then those pills will get digested also. Fantastic technology, but very good technology for some of your kids. When you grow up and when you have kids, those kids will go and work on those projects. It is at least 15, 20 years from realization, from getting the approvals that it needs to get. But it is great technology. But what is needed today is what you need to be working on, so it should be practical. The first thing that I want you to do, and this is, I don't know why, okay, that's me. That black spot, I don't know. Anyway, for those of you who have come here with your friends, with your colleagues, with your batchmates, with your college mates, my first and foremost request is do not speak to your friends for a day. For one day, please don't speak to your friends. That is collaboration. So if you're interested in a subject that is out here, then, don't be like those 2 people in a 1970, 1980 Manmohan Desai movie where suddenly you found your lost brother or sister. Okay. Instead, find the stranger in the crowd, go and talk to them and collaborate. That is interdisciplinary, really. For making nanobiotech thing work, what you need is you need mechanical engineers, you need computer scientists, you need electronics engineers, you need biotechnologists, you need regulatory people. You need everyone else except the group of friends you're sitting with right now in order to make it work. So my urge would be inculcate that interdisciplinary spirit in you, and please go and meet and talk and interact with those people who do not belong to your ecosystem right now. That is extremely important. At the same time, if you see someone who is in a company, who is from a government body or a regulatory body, please go to them with your idea or at least ask them if you can bring some of your own self to their ecosystems and form partnerships. Focus on commercialization. For God's sake, focus on commercialization. The end result of what you're trying to do here is not a paper. It's not a paper. Because if Dr. Agarwal here started off saying, I want to publish a paper, the paper would have been out and she would have been at home right now. But that's not what she set out to do. She set out to change the landscape of cell therapy in India, and that is what she is aiming to do. And that's why you are all here attending the conference here today, because that's what she is trying to do. I see multiple people here who are trying to do that. Basic question I have when you come to me and tell me, oh, I have a great idea, is can I buy it today? Okay. We used to exist in this sci-fi world. I mean, some of the older people amongst us realize that, oh, you know what? In US, I believe there's one technology where you can, those kinds of stories. Today, we're not interested in that. I mean, the same kind of, I don't have a very good opinion of those people, but I'll still say, I wanted to say idiots, but I won't say it because I might hurt people. But the same kind of fun people who are standing in long lines outside Apple stores waiting for the iPhone 16 to be released so that they can buy the first iPhone. Okay? In US, on the same day, they're standing outside the stores in India also, which means you're not prepared to wait for the iPhone. But then some super nano biotechnology product that's been launched in the US, yeah, it's being launched in US. We'll wait, no? It'll come here eventually, no? Slowly. Of course, we're Indian. Why? Why not that impatience with nano biotechnology? I mean, so I think that can I buy it today is very important. Technology transfer is important. In fact, you should start thinking in terms of product. What this idea I have, but what's the product? What is it that people will very painfully take their hand out, put it in their pocket, flip out their card, swipe it, and pay for it? If you do not do that, I think all of that technology is going to end up in one small paper, one small certificate, and move on in life. And I don't think we are here about that. Industrialization, making things, manufacturing things is the most important. The best and the most brilliant ideas die when you try to manufacture it and you are unsuccessful. Am I right? Right? And so I think the most important thing is, instead of saying, oh, I have an idea. No. I have an idea for that is not anymore enough. I have a company for that. I am building, your first introductory statement should be that I am going to build a company that does this. And that's my idea. Right? And if you are on the path. The other thing that I like about entrepreneurs, and this is something that I would encourage all of you to do, is do a constant market survey. Market survey means you are trying to find out, if I have this idea, who will buy it from me? I think very important for you to do is stop. And I see that. Again, I see that with the entrepreneurs who have come here on stage and spoken. Why did Dr. Palni say that, I want to solve the problem for HPV? Because he looked at the market and he said, this is one of the biggest unsolved problems. 29% of India's cancer patients are cervical cancer patients. And cervical cancer and its relationship to HPV is very well known. How many of the girls here have gotten themselves tested for HPV? Oh, I see 2, 3, 4, I think I see. No one upstairs, or probably they're not hearing me loudly yet. Okay, 4 people. Isn't that kind of, sorry for saying, isn't that a shame? Shouldn't every single girl in this country be tested for HPV? Shouldn't every single person be tested for HPV? And every single qualified person be given an HPV vaccine? Don't we owe it to ourselves? So I think we should be on mission mode. As much appreciation as I have for some of the companies here, or SLN, etc. If we had a meeting like this in China, there will be at least 300 companies like that. A lot of people seem to think that technology is like this automatic autopilot ride. We used to be 10th economy in the world. We are now 5th economy. Next will be 3rd. After that will be 1st. And then will be -2. Nothing like that. If we sit like this, we will be where we are or will fall down. That manufacturing mindset has not come into the academic and the student. And I think that is extremely important that we adopt that manufacturing mindset. So need, what is the need? What is the market need? What is the market like? What are they paying right now? What will they pay in future? And most importantly, if I do this, will I make any money? Will I survive? Will I be able to build a long-lasting company? I think you should start to think on those lines. Young as you are, um, everything is changing. The heroes of the last 20, 25 years were those people who came out, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, chemical engineering, biotechnology, electronics and communications, of course, computer science engineers, all of them came out and they got a job in Microsoft, Oracle, Facebook, Amazon, and became coders. That was the success story. Not anymore. I can build an app in 30 seconds right now. I challenge you. I can build an app in 30 seconds and I can't write a line of code if you put a gun to my head. But still I can build an app. Okay, so things are changing. The new heroes will be those who can manufacture and deploy solutions at large scale. Industrialization is important. That's why I wanted to bring that thought into everything that you're hearing. The other thing, and it was really great, I think it was a testimony to how things should be conducted, and I really congratulate the organizers for this. They started with the regulator. The first thing you did is you said, I want the regulator here, and I think I congratulate you because the safety, the approvals needed, constant surveillance of whether your treatments are effective or not, and while doing all that, researching. Okay? A lot of you people are right now technologists, congratulations, scientists, congratulations. There is science and there is regulatory science. Regulatory science is another subject which unfortunately is not taught in classes, but it is learned the hard way when you go to a company. And I think that your constant vigil for what is the regulator asking for is extremely important as you go forward. And I hope that each time you come up with an idea, you say, okay, how will I industrialize it? How will I get an approval for it? How will I execute it? I hope you do that constantly. I'm just 2 slides away. But manufacturing also is different. It's a new era of manufacturing. I spoke to a biotech manufacturer who is establishing India's largest pharmaceutical unit. And I said, wow, great. Because I'm always speaking to students, and like Dr. Vidya said, we're doing a lot of training programs and stuff like that. I thought 1,000 people will be employed. 70 people will be employed. 70 people will be employed. Right? Because it's the era of automation. It's the era of robotics. Right? And I don't know if you can read it. I was just willfully a little playful with the words on that side. It's customization. Not everyone wants it straightforward. Okay? People want it a little ulta. Right? Oh, because we will, Dr. Palni will come in. He will say to Dr. Agarwal, Dr. Agarwal, your treatment has to be given, but you know what? This guy has this particular mutation. Therefore, now you have to create nanogram quantities of this particular treatment, except that you will have to make sure that this mutation is addressed. Now, Dr. Agarwal goes and does that. Tomorrow, another patient comes, recustomize for that patient. So, constant customization. If that is happening, then what are you going to do with that 20-acre factory of yours? You're not going to be able to manufacture for, 50,000 doses per day like you're doing vaccines. So customization is important. You'll have to do miniature manufacture, customized manufacture for every single patient. Where the patient is sleeping on the bed. So you'll have to do it next to his bed or probably maximum in the next room. Which is okay because you're a scientist. You're like, I can do it. But then if FDA wants to come and inspect your quote unquote factory, what all will he inspect? Things are changing, right? So when we talk about customization, and sorry, no talk in the country is complete without a few magic words. So let me say them. Okay, let's all count them. AI, ML, blockchain, IoT, what else? Big data. Let's finish it off. Okay, that's all. Huh? There is plenty of room at the bottom for more stuff. But they're not going to take away your jobs. how are you going to incorporate AI into what you do is more important. And there's a ton of ways that we can incorporate AI into this whole mechanisms. And that is what we are all about. So I want you to constantly think about those things not as threats, but as serious tools, as astra that you can use in your own, in your own armory, right? And then lastly, think infrastructure. I have been to Dr. Agarwal's lab. I've seen what kind of infrastructure she has. I've been to Palani's manufacturing facilities. I know blood and sweat and infrastructure is there. Blood and sweat is there, I agree, but infrastructure is there. If you want to think nanobiotechnology, do you have nanofabrication? Do you have lithography? Do you have robotics? I mean, do you have expertise? Do your people have certifications? It's not enough if the inspector comes and checks, he won't pass you. He's also checking you. Are you qualified to do this or not? Do you have the certifications or not? Does your plant have the certifications? Does your lab have the certifications or not? I think that ecosystem is what you have to be, really, really conscious of and do. And then quality systems and product management. God, if any of you guys are going out and looking at product management courses right now, online, on the web, in Bangalore, anywhere in the country, look at them, and two steps into the details, you will realize all product management courses are about building software products. There is no product management education available at all for people building any other technology products, and I think that's where you really need to buckle up and show up for biotech. Well prepared is half done, and we are not prepared. We are not prepared. Dr. Vidya is somewhere here. She's here. With due respects, when I see the syllabus, I am scared. I'm scared. Okay? That's what it is. When I see the syllabus, I'm worried. Deeply. Not just worried, deeply worried. Right? So, last slide, I think. Okay? And, I saw those girls come here and dance, okay? And amazing, right? Really good stuff. Especially both the songs are good. So obviously the Josh is up. But that Josh, when we talk about our careers, our education and all that, that somehow has to be a smooth ride. Right? So what was that movie which had this line that said, where's the Josh? Or how's the Josh? Is it? Uri, right? No, where's the Josh? Right? I'm interested in, I like this. No, where's the obsession? The obsession that's needed, right? Same thing with words like sustainability. What is sustainability? Have you heard of the word sustainability being used recently? Everyone says, oh, sustainable agriculture, sustainable this, sustainable manufacture, sustainable environment, sustainable climate. What is sustainable? Sustainable means doing things that are needed right now while ensuring that future generation also will be okay with what you're doing right now. You can't mess stuff up right now. And any examples in biotech where we really messed up? I'll give you one example. You can go back and come up with nanobiotech based solutions for it if you want. AMR, antimicrobial resistance. Dr. Agarwal, due apologies to every doctor here. Doctor, I have a fever. Okay? No test needed, nothing needed. Here is what you will take. Dolo, paracetamol, okay? One extremely strong antibiotic. Because I gave you a very strong antibiotic, I'll give you something to protect your stomach. Okay? Because I gave you something to protect your stomach and a very big antibiotic, I will give you one B vitamin. Okay? Oh, but what if it's an allergy? I'll give you one anti-allergic. Okay? Go. 2 days later, come back if you still have fever. People go to medical school for 4 years for this. 4 years, medical school. I can write it. 2 days later, you go back to the doctor. The script doesn't end. Now go get a blood test, CBC, urine test. Do you have money? Then get a CT. No, this is not the way it works, okay? Sustainability is about that. Sustainability. And then I gave you so many antibiotics that your future generations, no antibiotic will work on them. That's a problem we're facing right now. So that's sustainability in biotechnology for you. Same thing with ethics and integrity. I don't know how many of you people heard this definition of integrity, but integrity is about how you conduct yourself and what you do when no one is watching you. Not when a regulator is watching you. Not when the government is watching you. Not when a cop is watching you. But when you're alone with yourself, how you deal with things, that's integrity. And I think there's an utter lack of integrity in multiple things that happen across industries. And I think when we conduct ourselves, please look at that also since you're students. Right? Our idea, and the last slide, is to create a workforce. And that's why I'm here and I'm very, very passionate about it. We have a stall here. You can go and check us out. Create a skilled workforce that's industry ready. You're not industry ready. No one is industry ready. Industry is not industry ready. Where will you be? Right? And a faster industry adaptation for people. Build global competencies so that you can work here, US, Australia, England, wherever in the world you can work. And obviously be a regulatory compliant kind of a nation. It's very important whenever you think of any of these technologies. I'm really happy, Dr. Agarwal. Thank you so much for inviting us over. A lot of what I spoke about is very clearly depicted in what you do, Dr. Vidya. I know that through RVCE partnership, we're trying to build something that's definitely going to get the entire world of technology closer to what we're trying to do. But good luck with what you're doing, and simulate yourself. Go to the factory floor. Don't stand here. Don't write a paper. Don't just do a project. I can do a project also in 2 minutes. I also got ChatGPT. I mean, the number of people, and I'm just honestly saying it, who bring stuff to my table these days, who somehow think that they live in a parallel universe where only they have access to ChatGPT. Amazing. No, even I know what ChatGPT is. So please, right? Go ahead, connect with people, collaborate, create, and the next century is essentially ours if we do that. Conquer. Thank you very much.